Okay, this is lesson 1.4, operations with fractions. And on this first one, we're going to just, this lesson, this video is only going to cover the first page, which is adding fractions. And so in order to add fractions, you need to think about the size of each piece. So like 1/3 is a pie sliced into 3 pieces, and 1/4 is a pie sliced into 4 pieces. And right now, if I asked you like how much pie there was, and these shaded regions represents how much pie there is. One piece out of a pie that was cut into 3 pieces, and 1 piece is there of a pie that was cut into 4 pieces. Well, how much shaded red area, or how much pie is actually there? And it's hard to say exactly how much. If I move this piece over here, you know, and I kind of put that maybe 1/2 here, we can see we don't really know exactly how much is there. So this is how it's going to work. What you need to do is imagine the pies were cut with the same number of pieces. And one easy way to do that, if you write your 3 and your 4, your 2 denominators, and then do multiples of 3. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 6 is 18. So you just go down that list. Do the same thing with 4. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. Now I can stop here because what I'm looking for is the same number in this list. Now what this number tells me is how many pieces I need to slice the pie into so that I have the same size slices for both circles. And 12 is the smallest number of slices that will actually give you the same number of slices. Now, how do I go about this? Well, if we go to the 1/3 list, we look at 12 is the 4th one down. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means each of these needs to be sliced into 4 pieces. And I also want to look at this fraction. What happens if I multiply the top and bottom by 4? So let's take a look at the numerator. This represents the 1 piece here. And then multiplying by 4, 1 times 4 is 4. In other words, this 1 slice is going to get cut into 4 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's what we're showing here. Now if I go 3 times 4, that's 12. That means if I cut the remaining pieces also into 4, I'm going to have a total of 12 all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if the piece, if the original pie was cut into 12 pieces, this 1/4 section would become 4 pieces. So 1/3 and 4/12 is the exact same amount. We didn't change the amount of shaded regions. We just cut them up into smaller pieces. We can do the same thing with 1/4. If we go down here, 12 in this column with this denominator, 1, 2, 3, it's the 3rd one down. So if I multiply the top and bottom by 3, I get 3/12. And we can see that if I cut each of these 4 pieces into 3, this will give me that fraction. Let's start with the numerator. We have 1 slice here. We're going to cut it up into thirds. 1, 2, 3. Now there's 3 pieces. And if we cut the rest of the pieces into thirds, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 total pieces. So then how much pie do we have? Well, if I take these 3 pieces and put them over here, you can see you'll have 7 out of 12 pieces. In other words, you add the numerators. The denominator does not change when you're adding. You only add the tops because it's still 12 pieces total in one pie, right? But if I move these 3 pieces over, right, we can see there are now 7 out of 12 pieces. Let's go to the next one. So for this next one, our fractions are 2/3 and 4/5. I'm leaving a little bit of space here so I can show the numbers I'm multiplying by. But let's go and do our 2 columns. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 6 is 18. And you can actually do this with a calculator. It's a great tool, and I highly recommend using it. So what I'm going to suggest is we'll start here, and there's a quick way you can make this work for you. So if you just 3 plus 3 gives you that 6. If you do another plus 3, you get your 9. So what I did here is when I had this 6, I just hit the plus key and then 3, and it automatically put answer here, which means it took this previous answer, the 6, added 3, and gave me the 9. Once I have this statement, if I hit enter, it repeats and gives me 12, and then it gives me 15, and then it gives me 18. So it's a really nice thing that you can do. Let's do the next one. So 5 plus 5, right, there's our 5. If we add another 5, that gets us a 10. Then once again, I hit the plus key, and it sets up this answer, and then do 5. That gives me my 15. And then I can hit enter, and it'll give me 20, and I can hit enter, and it'll give me a 25. So it will generate that list for you nice and quick. Just a little shortcut. You don't have to do this. You can just add 5 each time or whatever. But this definitely works out really nice. And when I look at this list, what number is the same in each list? Well, 15 is the same in each list. In this one, it's the 5th one down. In this one, it's the 3rd one down. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So going to the list with the 3 at the top, which is this denominator, looks like we would need to multiply this by 5. So that means each piece needs to be cut up into 5 sections. So let's take a look at the 2 sections here. If I cut those into 5, it's going to take 4 lines to cut this into 5 regions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And we'll do this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another 5 pieces. If you count the total, that's 10 pieces that the 2 pieces were cut into. So the 2 pieces are now 10 pieces. And if we cut up this last region, you get 5 more pieces, a total of 15. So that's really what's happening when you're multiplying the top and bottom. You're just saying, hey, these 2 pieces that are there are now going to be 10 pieces. And the total number of pieces included this empty space is now 15. Well, what about this fraction? If we go to the list that has the 5, 1, 2, 3, 3 down, we're going to multiply the top and bottom by 3. So these 4 pieces here are each going to get cut into thirds. So it just takes 2 lines to do that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A total of 12 pieces. 4 times 3 is 12. And then if we cut this last remaining piece into thirds, 13, 14, 15. Total of 15. So that's all we're doing with that, is we're cutting each of the slices into the certain number of pieces based off this list. Now, we now add all the pieces. There is 3 pieces left over here, right? If I took 3 of these and put them there, that would give me 1 full pie. And then I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces left over, right? If I took those 3 out, there are 7 left. You can count those. So let's add the fraction together. You get 22 out of 15. Well, this is called an improper fraction. The reason it's improper is the top is bigger than the bottom. And so the reason, one of the reasons we, how do I put this? Okay, this can be expressed differently. If I put these 3 pieces over here, that gives me one full pie. So I'll put that here. So we would have 1 full pie, and then we would have 7 pieces left over. 7 pieces out of 15. So this can be converted to what we call a mixed number. So you put how many whole pizzas, or put how many whole values, and I'll just call that full pies to keep our analogy. And then how many pieces are left over. So this is one full pie, and then there would be 7 pieces left over out of 15. And so that's how we do it. Now, how can we do this mathematically? There's a couple of different ways. You could take the 22, we'll clear that out. You could take the 22 and subtract the 15, and that'll show you that, oh, if I subtract 15, that means there's 7 pieces left over, and that's smaller than the total number of pieces, so we know that would be one full pie. Now, what if I had a bigger number? What if I had like 40 pieces, right? If I subtract the 15, that means I'd have one full pie, and I'd still have 25 pieces left over. So I'd have to subtract the 15 again, and that would then give me 10 pieces left over. So that means there would be 2 full pies, and then there would be a 10/15 pie left over. So you can do it that way as well. But the next thing I want to show you is how to do these on a calculator. And this button right here, that's our fraction key. So if I hit my fraction key, I can do 1/3, arrow to the right, plus the fraction key again, 1/4. When I hit enter, this will go ahead and give me the first answer of 7/12. I apologize, I was doing this first problem. That gives me the 7/12 that we saw. Now let's do the fraction that we just did. So we hit the fraction key. We have 2/3 plus fraction key 4/5. And notice you do use this button to kind of navigate around. So if you need to get to the bottom of the fraction, you'll hit down. If you need to get to the right of the fraction, you'll hit the right. And when I hit this, it does give me my 22/15. And this will always give your calculators an improper form. So how do I convert it? Well, if you look above this button right here in green, it says n/d. See if I can zoom in a little bit on that for you. It says n/d, and then n/d. So this will actually convert from a mixed to an improper. So all we have to do is hit the second button. When you hit the second, it does whatever is green above the key. So when I hit this, it'll say we're going to take this 22/15 and change it from an n/d form to a n/d, which is your mixed fraction. There's your 1 7/15. Just to let you know, if you want to convert a mixed back to an improper, you do the same key again, and it'll change it back to improper. All right. We have one more example left, and that is going to be this one here. Here we have 2 full whole values, so we have 3 and 2. That's, we'll just put over here 1, 2, 3 full pies, and another 2 pies. I don't have to do anything special. That's a total of 5, so I can do 5 here. But now I have to deal with these parts, and once again, the values aren't the same. So I'm going to list my 4 and my 5. I'm just going to write these out real quick. You can use your calculator, when you're gendering them on your own. But this is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. This becomes a 10, 15, 20. And so we can see that's where they occur, the same number in each column. That means for the 1/4, I'm going to do this separate, 1/4, just keep it away. That 5's still there, that'll be part of our answer. 1/4, if we look on the 4 column, it's the 5th one down, so we're going to multiply the top and bottom by 5. So that will be 5/20. With a second fraction of 2/5, if we look at the 5 column, it's the 4th one down, so we'll multiply the top and bottom by 4. So that is 8/20. And you can, cut those up if you want, recount them and stuff. But that's what's going to happen with these here. That's the math that happens. This would be 5 slices, and these would be a total of 8 slices together. if you cut them up. Now, we're now going to add these, and that's 13 for the numerator. So there'd be a total of 13 slices in both red areas out of 20, and we bring our 5 out front, and then there's the answer for a mixed fraction. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to do this on a calculator. If you look above this fraction key right here, it actually has a way to put in mixed fractions. So do second, hit that fraction key, now you see all 3 spaces. We'll put in our 3, we'll arrow over to the right, that takes us to the top, 1 at the top, 4 on the bottom, plus, and we'll go second fraction key again, we'll put our 2, and we'll put our 2 over 5. So those are mixed numbers. Remember, this always gives you the improper fraction as the answer, so we wind up with this 113 over 20. So how many 20s would go in here? Well, 5. 5 times 20 is 100. So 100 of these slices would go to making 5 full pies with 13 left over. But we can do the conversion. Second, we hit this button again to get converting from mixed to improper to mixed, and there's our 5 3/20. All right, hopefully that was helpful. Please continue on to the next lesson, which is going to discuss subtraction.